As a bookkeeper, one of the things we talk about usually as a positive is that you get to work from home. But what if you try it out and you decide, actually, I don't really like working from home? Maybe the people that you live with are loud and distracting. Maybe you end up meeting with clients more than you expect and you need like a professional setting to meet with clients. Or maybe you're just the type of person who needs more separation between your work and your house and you just get distracted working from home. So we're going to talk about multiple different options in this video, and I put it into 3 different categories. The first one I called creative solutions for your workspace. The next section is co-working spaces, which you may have been hearing more and more about. And then the third section is about renting a dedicated office space. So like a more traditional space that probably costs a little bit more. And I'd love it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want more bookkeeper videos. And I did just create a membership option on my YouTube channel. So you can find that. I'll maybe put a screenshot of how to find that. You can click on it. It's a very small amount per month, and then it explains the benefits. So you can get percentages off my classes. If you buy any of my classes, you can get priority in the comments here, so you can get your questions answered quickly because we're not always able to get through all of the comments. And then you get access to the whole library of any download I've ever created. So all those freebies that I make for you guys, you just get like a link with all of them listed. So you don't have to like go to each video and download each one. So if you're interested, check that out. It's kind of new to me, the membership thing. So let me know in the comments if you think it's useful or if you've joined the membership for other YouTubers. Okay, so starting off with those creative solutions. I was in a Facebook group that was talking about this subject, and multiple people said that they made like an at-home shed that was like kind of attached to their house, or detached, I guess, from their house. But you could buy these type of pre-made sheds like at Costco or other places, and they can be as fancy or as non-fancy as you want. So I actually have a friend who just created one. Hers was a little more fancy. I think she had it like custom made. She has power and heat going out to it, and it's insulated and everything. So that is more of an investment and like a house project. But in theory, in the future, you could maybe use that space for something else if you wanted to. And similarly, my friend, I've talked about her before. She was a jewelry designer. She was one of my very first bookkeeping clients. She rented one of those sheds from a friend. So she knew someone who had one. That particular shed didn't have like plumbing or heating. I think she had like a space heater, so it had electricity, but that was very, very budget friendly. That was maybe like 8 years ago now, but I think it was like $200 a month or something. So it was really cheap. I think that person, the homeowner, just wanted a little bit of extra income, and they were kind of giving a good deal to my friend. And of course, be creative about the places around you that you can work for free. So libraries are a great resource, as well as oftentimes there are coffee shops and cafes that are kind of set up for this. And for these, you want to think about security, maybe make sure your internet is secure, and you'll probably get to know the places around you that are better or worse for working, and you can focus better. So we have a really nice, well, there's like 3 libraries near me, but one is really big and nice, and that was the one I would prefer to go work at. Other creative things that would require a bit of research on your part are you can rent a space from another business. So my husband's business, actually, before COVID, he rented this larger office space, and now he's not needing all of the offices in there, and so he's renting out just like one office to people who need it. So that's kind of like the co-working idea, but a little less regulated, I guess. You can also share an office with another professional, whether it's a CPA, a bookkeeping professional, or even just something like unrelated, but just go together with someone that you trust. But you can rent an office space together and then split the rent, similar to having a roommate in your house. You can also get a virtual office membership. I have a whole list of like websites and stuff you can try. I've only tried like half of them, so I can't recommend every single one. But in my research, it said you can pay like $50 to $150 a month, and then you'll get a business address and mail services, and then maybe like the occasional ability to rent an office space. And of course, as you might imagine, all of these prices are going to vary wildly depending on where you live, what state you live in, if you live in a rural area or a city, and that kind of thing. But that does bring up things to consider when you're choosing between these like 3 buckets that I'm going to talk about. So budget is a big one. How much can you afford to spend, if anything? And a lot of that comes down to how you're going to use it. Are you someone that wants to go into an office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? That is worth it if you're going to be a lot more productive, but obviously that's going to cost more. Also think about privacy and confidentiality, because as bookkeepers, we are dealing with people's finances. We need to make sure we are protecting our clients' privacy. Also think about, as I mentioned before, do you need to meet with clients? Think about what amenities it has. Like, do you care if there's a fridge there? Do you need internet to be included, or a phone? Or like I said, that address? Like, think about what type of things you want to pay for. And of course, your commute. Ideally, it's great if something is nearby where you live. And then think about the networking community of the location. So if you're in a co-working space, for example, with other people, that could be a really good thing because maybe you're chatting with people and that's a way to get new clients. So you'll need to consider if that is worth it. And then of course, balance it with the privacy and productivity piece as well. Also think about the lease terms. How long are you committing to? I know a business owner that committed to a very long lease, and it turned out to be a little bit stressful because it was less flexible if you're committed, right? All right, so that was my creative solutions bucket. Now let's talk about co-working. This is a concept that's like a little bit newer or more popular in my opinion recently. I think like after COVID, people worked at home and then, it just changed how people went to the office. So because of that, more of these co-working spaces have popped up. And I just did a Google search for some of them. I looked into WeWork and Regus, and I also heard of another one called Office Revolution. When I looked into WeWork, there was only one listing in my whole city. I live in the Portland area, so there was only one in the whole Portland area, which wasn't that many. And now I'm wondering, like, maybe should I have filtered things differently? But anyways, WeWork and then Regus is another one. That one, I had to put in my email and get a quote. So I just did that this morning. So I'll hear back about that. And then Office Evolution is the other one that I had written down. So within these co-working spaces, a lot of times there's different levels. So if you want to do, this is called like a hot desk, which means you just show up and you get any desk that you see. So it's like open seating. That I have listed as $100 to $300 a month. Again, remember, these probably will vary a lot depending on where you are. The second level is a dedicated desk. So it's like, I think you can probably keep your stuff there. It's like always your desk when you come in. That is $300 to $600 a month. And then there's also the option of a private office. So I'm assuming that is with the door closed and you have more privacy in that case. And that I have a big range of $500 a month to up to $2,000 a month. And so I feel like at that point, you're kind of getting more into the next section, which is like the just rent an office thing. This also says you can sometimes get a day pass for about $30 a day. When I looked into this briefly, it was more expensive than $30. It was more like $70 to $100 a day. So you can look into that. And then also there's often meeting rooms that you can rent. So, you might have like a hot seat desk and then you can go into this meeting room if you want to meet with a client. Pros to this is it's really flexible. You don't have to sign a lease or anything. Usually all the furniture is included, so that is not an expense to you. Networking opportunities with people around you, like I already said, and then you get that professional business address. And the main downsides are just privacy. All right, so then let's move on to the third section, which is a private office rental. And I did want to share a little business update with you guys. I did start a TikTok, so I think I mentioned that in one of my earlier videos. But if you're on TikTok, here is how you find me. Here's my username. So definitely go over there and say hi. It's a really small group. Right now, I only have like 100 followers. And so, it's just a little more casual, like personal interaction. I kind of just like talk to the camera instead of like, making like an edited video. And then we do some like fun things too. I have my friend is helping me. So we're like experimenting with different like trending sounds and stuff like that. And if you don't know me, my name is Morgan and my website is finepoints.biz. So talking more about private office rentals, you probably kind of get what this is. It's the more traditional way to rent an office space. The price that I have listed, the traditional one is $500 to $2,500. $500 is pretty cheap, I think, for my area at least. So that's just a normal office, and then a furnished one, it's going to be more. And it'll depend also on the amenities and if it's furnished, that kind of thing. And then it also says a small office in a business center. So I think that's just probably just like a little cubicle office. That is $400 to $800 a month, which I feel like is about right. And obviously the benefits to this is it is private. You can meet with clients there. Your stuff is going to be there. You can lock it up. You can, add pictures to the wall or decorate it however you like. So it's like really like your office space that you're renting. Downsides might be that it is more expensive, and also you might have more of a lease commitment. So it might be harder to get out of the lease. Let me know in the comments what your office space looks like. Do you have a dedicated office within your house? Do you work at your kitchen table? Do you work in bed? Or have you got to the point where you want to rent some of these spaces, either co-working or a little meeting space occasionally, or a dedicated office? I'm curious to see kind of where you guys are at and what is typical for this group. So thank you guys so much for staying till the end. I really appreciate you, and I will talk to you next week about more bookkeeper stuff. All right, take care. Bye.